Good afternoon. Happy secular New Year. Happy 2023. And hopefully 2023 will be a good year for everyone, a year of health, a year of prosperity, and a year of happiness. You know, it's interesting because one of the questions everyone always asks, where were you for the ball drop? And everyone wants to make sure they're up. And as you get older, it gets harder because by 12 o'clock, by midnight, you're in bed. But everyone makes sure to be up and they count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and so on and henceforth. But it's interesting because you contrast that with the Jewish New Year. As you know, the Jewish New Year is usually around September, or the latest this year was October, where we celebrate the Jewish New Year, which follows the lunar calendar. But we don't stay up till midnight at the Jewish New Year. If you stay up, it's by your Rosh Hashanah dinner, you stay up as long as you want, but there's no specific being up by midnight. But there is something called Shabbat Slichot, which is the Saturday night, either right before Rosh Hashanah or sometimes 10 days, up to 10 days before, when Jews maybe go to sleep before, but they get up at midnight, which is actually usually, it goes by a different clock time, and it could be anywhere between 12:30 and 1 a.m. And we get up, and we don't get up to have a ball drop, and we don't get up to get into a party. We get up to go to shul and to say slichot. What does slichot mean? Slichot means supplications. We are humble. The Saturday night before Rosh Hashanah, we get into synagogue at the earliest time of morning, which of course in Judaism starts the night before, and we get up and we ask God. We pray that we should have a good year. We pray we should have a happy year, but we pray we should have a year that allows us to find true meaning and purpose in our lives. You know, it's interesting because when it comes to New Year's in the secular world, what do we say to everyone? Happy New Year, right? But when it comes to Judaism, we don't say Happy New Year. We don't say Shana Sameach. We say Shana Tova, may be a good year. So one of the most critical things for a Jew is to remember that ultimately true happiness comes from being good, from doing good things. It's not always easy to be good and to do good. Sometimes it's easier to do the wrong thing. Sometimes it's easier to bail on what's good because you'll be happy momentarily. But what Judaism teaches us, which is one of the most important things, is if you want to have happiness, you need to have goodness. And that's why when the new year comes, we say Shana Tova. Maybe a good year, maybe a year where I put goodness before bad, where I put what's right before happiness. Because ultimately I know that when I do what's good and right, happiness will come with it. My friends, it's an important message. We're coming to the portion of Vayechi, which is the last portion of the book of Genesis. My favorite book is Genesis. Vayigash is actually my favorite portion, which we just passed. But Vayechi, it says, Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim. Jacob lived in Egypt 17 years. And the rabbis tell us that the numerical value of 17 is tov, is good. Jacob's best years were in Egypt. And the rabbi says, how could his best years be in Egypt, the most promiscuous land, not in the Holy Land? Shouldn't have not his best years been in Israel? And the rabbis give us a profound answer. Jacob's best years were in Egypt because those were where the Jewish people accomplished the most. And when you do the right thing and when you do good, you can have your happiest and best time even in the most difficult and challenging place. And that's really the message of Judaism, and maybe should be our message for this new year. That we should be able to have a year that is good. A year that wherever we find ourselves, we should put goodness at our forefront, and then we will have a happy new year. I hope you enjoyed yourself and continue. God bless you.